right. I am with our guest this week, one Michael Gagliano, aka Gags30. We've been doing a lot of coverage in the New Jersey online poker arena on PokerNews.com. So who better to talk to than a BorgataPoker.com sponsored pro and a WSOP bracelet winner? Gags, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting right now. It's a crazy world that we're living in, and
Indeed.
one of the silver linings is that online poker seems to be thriving. Is that the case with online poker in New Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely had a big uptick. I think end of March, April was the real month. I think you've seen numbers kind of coming back down to earth a bit, but there's still that buzz is still there, especially in the tournament scene, with all the series that have been going on, both on, I mean, WSOP has been running series after Borgata's starting to run a bunch of them. PokerStars ran, I think, one or two, but just every week there's something. I think last Sunday was the first week in like a really long time that my friend messaged me. He's like, "Hey, there's nothing special going on. Like, what happened?" And I'm like, "I don't know." But this week the Borgata series just concluded yesterday, and WCP's got their circuit going now too. So we're back into special mode again.
Yeah, I've been working closely with the folks at Borgata and with Party Poker US online. They're going to have other series. I know there's another one coming up at the end of June. I think the 21st through the 28th. Do you look forward to those series? Do you play a pretty full schedule during those, or what's it like for you when that stuff is going on?
It depends. I have like kind of a mix of both MTTs and cash depending on the day of the week and that kind of thing. I have a bit of trouble like playing both at the same time. So like I tend to focus on one or the other, and there's just been so many good series that it's been hard to not play these tournaments. So yeah, I definitely play those. I don't always play all the weekday stuff, but all the weekends, the Sunday stuff especially, I'm always in there for those. And I can't wait for more stuff that's coming up.
You are a BorgataPoker.com sponsored pro. I also know the other two that are with you, Katie Stone and Daniel Busgan.
Indeed.
What can you tell me a little bit about your fellow ambassadors for Borgata Poker?
I think everyone just I think we have a good group of people that is like helps to get the message out. They all have pretty good reach in the New Jersey community and just the poker community in general. So if there's things that the players want, they help bring them in, and messages that Borgata wants to get out. I think we've all done a pretty good job of helping to get those messages out. Yeah, it's been good working with them. We have a little text message chat that we talk about some things when they come up as well.
You have over 4 million in online scores, tournament cashes. Of course, you play cash like you said. 338,000 of that has come on BorgataPoker.com, according to Pocket Fives.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'm
then
over 4 million. I didn't know that. That's I got to keep up on my Pocket Fives
yeah,
cashes. Yeah.
yeah, that's impressive. And then you have just over 2 million in live earnings as well, which puts you, according to Hen and Mob today, when I checked, 19th on New Jersey's all-time money list. And yeah, your biggest score was almost $450,000 when you won a World Series of Poker bracelet back in 2016, event number 25, the 2500 No Limit Hold'em. Uh, as somebody who's won a bracelet myself, I know how special it can be.
Hmm.
Mine, of course, was not as prestigious
Don't sell yourself short. They're still hard to come by. Still hard to
yeah.
come by.
And I certainly didn't win the amount of money that you did. That's
Well,
your biggest live score ever. But what was it
yeah.
like to win that tournament?
It was really good. That was actually my first live win. Um, I had a bunch of seconds. I want to say maybe 6 or 7 second places that just didn't come together. Like a couple I had chopped heads up and then lost for the trophy, and like just things like that. So it was really just like good to kind of get that monkey off my back and like just get a win. Um, yeah, I mean, it was a crazy tournament just in general. It was a tournament that I wasn't really like expecting to win. I was basically short from trying to remember. It's getting to be a while ago now, but I was short from basically like level like 7-ish on, like basically the end of day one. I bagged hardly anything. I had like 10 big blinds on the bubble, like just kind of trying to stumble into the money, and I just never had more than like 10 or 12 big blinds. Every time I won a hand and doubled up, the blinds went immediately up, and I immediately was back down to like 13 big blinds. So and then I was again short, kind of starting the final table. I didn't have a lot of chips, and then I sucked out with like 9 or 10 left. like right as soon as it started the final table, and it was kind of just relatively smooth sailing from there, and it just kind of happened really fast. So it was something.
Well, you've done something that I've never been able to do since I won my bracelet, and that's actually contend for another. The following year, you were at the final table of the 3K at No Limit Hold'em 6 Max, ended up finishing in third place for $210,000. What was it like, going deep again? Was that I don't know how the tournament played out. Did you think you were going to win your second bracelet, or, were you fortunate to get to third place? What was that whole run like?
That was a really different field. I mean, both fields were not like the final table. The 2500 was definitely not easy. Um, but the 3K6 Max was definitely tougher down the stretch. I had more chips. I felt a lot more in control of that. I felt like I was playing like just really well that summer. I just kind of found my stride. That was that was the next year, 2017, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really felt like I was at a good place in just regards to like my opponents and stuff. Like I felt like I was in kind of control of a lot of situations. That I had like studied really well and stuff. But yeah, tough final table again though. And Mormon wound up kind of getting me, and in that one he won the win. So I was happy for him. He's a good guy, so I was happy to see him win his.
Right.
That was his first bracelet. So that was that was cool to see. But yeah,
And then this past year, you almost won another one in 1500.
I yeah
Yeah, the bracelet winners only event, which I
yeah.
actually got to play. It was very unique, very fun. Dynamic, knowing that everybody at the table was a bracelet winner, but you ended up taking second for $44,000. What was it like to come
That was
one person away?
that was a fun one. Like there was like there's no guarantee on that tournament, like a lot of WSOP tournaments, and like there was a lot of buzz, the week or two leading up to it, where everyone's like, I think there might be like 15 people in this tournament. Like, because a lot of people were thinking that people weren't going to play this because they were thinking it was going to be like really hard because it was all bracelet winners, and then other people were like, it's only 1500, like just not going to be a lot of people. That it was the end of the summer too, so people were like, there's not a lot of people here now, but I went with my two housemates. We went to register and like see how many people were in it, and there were like 35 people. Like as it was starting, we are like, this might be big, and it was just like apparently there's a lot of people that have won bracelets playing like stud eight over the years, and like and everyone that I asked was like, yeah, I won a bracelet in like 1982 in like 5 card draw, and I was like, oh okay, like um but then as the tournament went on, like you could register at the start of day two also. And so like a ton of like more recent bracelet winners jumped in then. So it became like much tougher of a field, like kind of instantly there. And it wound up being like kind of a battle down the line. But that was definitely a fun tournament. It was really cool. WSP made it no rake too, which was really nice. Just to kind of let everyone play, and it got some good coverage because it was cool. Just like everybody knew basically everybody in the field. Like I said, there were definitely some people that won bracelets a long time ago that I had never heard of personally, but there were a lot of stories, and a lot of those guys seem to know each other. Like, oh hey, I remember you, like that kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, it was fun. I lost to Shankar heads up. We kind of were even heads up and just kind of had a battle, and he just got me. But yeah, it was a good. That was a fun one too.
Yeah, it was
That was the last
pretty.
tournament I played in the World Series, and
Oh wow.
yeah,
No,
so we'll see what happens now.
no main events for you then, or was that
That was
as
after the main
after? That's
event.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, yeah. Because there were a couple other tournaments left, and after that I was just like, and I just went home. But yeah, I'm like missing live poker right now with it's June. I'm kind of like at a loss. Like I don't. Everyone's asking me questions about like um the New Jersey scene in Borgata in the summer. I'm like, oh, what's coming up? How's poker going? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I think it's bigger, but I've never played online in June really in New Jersey because I'm always in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I play on WSP Nevada while I'm out there, but I don't get a chance to play on the Jersey sites. So yeah, I don't really know. It's kind of uncharted territories here for me. So we'll see what the next month brings.
Well, speaking of online poker in New Jersey and Nevada, let's talk a little bit of news that actually broke just a couple hours ago before we were recording this interview. And that is the WSOP is going to host 85 bracelet events this summer starting on July 1st. I think 34 of them are going, or 31 of them are going to be on WSOP.com, which is open to Nevada players and players in New Jersey, such as yourself. 54 of them will then be to the international market on GG Poker. This is obviously pretty big news. 85 bracelets is a lot. What's your early reaction to the news that broke?
I saw the leak. the WSOP Nevada schedule leaked maybe a week ago. They briefly had it on their site, and then it came down, and people were saying that that was going to be the GG schedule, and I was like, that looks like a Nevada schedule. Like GG is going to be way different, I think. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, I can't complain. I'm in Jersey. I'm going to get to play some bracelet events. I kind of think that like one a day is like almost a little much. Like I would have rather seen. I'm sure they're gonna have other tournaments too during this that they haven't announced yet. At least I think they're gonna. But I would have rather seen like kind of a series with like maybe a bracelet event every couple of days or something. But they really want to get them out there. So hey, I'm not gonna complain, man. I mean, it's another shot at winning bracelets, and they're all gonna be huge, I think. So the schedule looks pretty good for my first glance. I like what I saw. There's nothing the buy-ins don't seem like super low or super high or anything like that. They're kind of in that nice meaty zone where I think mostly everyone is going to either have a shot to get in or at least have a shot to play some satellites to get in, which is good. It's good to see. I know there's already like some people on Twitter complaining that there's too many events between WSP and GG, but I don't know. They've been pumping the schedule for a while now with the Europe events, and last summer we saw them, add a bunch of bracelet events. And what was supposed to be this summer, I forget the exact number, but there were going to be a ton of bracelet events this summer online already. So they clearly just want to get them out there and get the numbers up and stuff. So that's just changing as the poker landscape changes, and we have these segregated markets. I think you're going to see more of this.
Right.
I don't know.
What as an online player and a live player, what are your thoughts on the value of the bracelet, so to speak, in an online event? I know that's a big debate amongst poker players, amongst even my colleagues in the poker media. As somebody who's won, as Alan Kessler likes to remind me, a fake bracelet because my field
It's
was
a closed event.
a closed event.
Yeah, yeah.
I do see it like a hierarchy, if you will. Now, don't get me wrong. If I could play these online events, and maybe I'll get the chance to if I travel to one of those two states, I would be happy, more than happy, to win another bracelet, even if it is an online event.
Yeah.
But I do get the argument too that hey, these might not be as prestigious as winning one live actually in Vegas. So I'm just curious, as somebody who's done that and somebody who is well ingrained in the online world, just what your perspective is on that whole debate.
Well, it's kind of funny because people definitely say that like, oh, the online bracelet has less value, or like, oh, the employee bracelet has less value, or whatever it is. But like at the same time, there's poker players that say, oh, your 25K bracelet has less value because you only beat 80 people or whatever it
Right.
is. I mean, my friends make fun of Neil Farrell because he won his bracelet in some 25K that had like, I think it had like 101 people or something. And like, we're like, yeah, man, you beat like no one. Like, you won a sit and go. Like, great job. Like, Neil is a triple crown. And I'm pretty sure in those 3 events, he beat fewer players than Brian Yoon did in his third bracelet when he won the Monster Stack. Yeah, he definitely did. There's no way it's more. Like that was a 6,700 person field. Like, I don't know. Like they're just different. I don't think that one is necessarily worth more or worth less. They're just different.
Right.
I think that like I would love to have a bracelet from a 100-person 25K because you got to beat a very elite field, and you can brag about beating some of the best poker players in the world. But on the other hand, I'd love to have a bracelet where I beat 7,000 people and you say, hey, I navigated this huge field and dodged all these landmines and came out on top of so many people. Like, it's just such a different kind of thing. Um, it's the same thing with online. Like, I don't think that it's necessarily going to be worth less. It's just different. There are guys that play live that are extremely good players live, and you put them online, and they're just not very impressive. They just don't have that what it takes. And the opposite is true too. There's guys that just crush online that you put them live, and they just kind of, I don't know, they just kind of flounder. They're all right, they're not bad players, but they just don't have that killer instinct that they for some reason have online, whatever it is, whether it's the way they play, maybe they play a bunch of tables, or maybe they have those just reads on the way people play different situations online that they don't have that live. So yeah, it's just different. I don't at this point, like, if WSP is really gonna have 80 some odd bracelet events every year that are gonna be online, yeah, you probably should have like a distinction between online and live. But I don't think that's the plan. I think this is gonna be a very special year in that there's gonna be an asterisk on this year with the online, especially if we wind up getting a World Series in the fall, like they were talking about possibly in Vegas. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it's definitely important to note that I did talk to Ty Stewart about this event happening. The online bracelet events are not a replacement for the live version. They're looking at it as like an extension. They do still hope to do a live version in the fall or later this year. Now, whether or not that actually comes to fruition, we'll just have to wait and see. So, I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. It's nice to have poker happening, even if it is online. I know from a live reporting aspect, PokerNews is going to try to cover a lot of those events. Meaning, I'll probably either be in Nevada or New Jersey. I've spent a lot of time in both. Gags, let me ask you. Let's talk a little bit about yourself. I'm looking at your
Sure.
background, and I see
Yeah.
a lot of instruments. Are you a music
I got
guy?
a I got a couple. Yeah. I keep my better guitars in a case so my kids don't kind of knock them around. But I have an old acoustic that I leave out if they want to play it, and I don't mind if they bang it up a bit. But yeah, I play a bit of music. When I have some time, I played guitar for like ever, and we recently got a piano, and so I got the keyboards. I can play at night and stuff if the kids are asleep. But I enjoy music. Yeah, got a whole bunch of books behind me, like kids books and stuff that my kids like going through, and uh, yeah.
And how old are your kids?
My daughter's 6 and my son is 3.
Oh, and
So yeah, we
how do you find the lifestyle of having two young children and still trying to be a successful professional poker player?
it's something. It's not easy, but we make it work. My wife is good with being like flexible and making it work and stuff.
Yeah.
So definitely helpful to have someone like that. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, especially like traveling and things like that. Like like the World Series is always tough having to go away or having to choose going the whole time or breaking the trip up and coming back, which is just a lot of stress on me having to go back and forth traveling with time zones and the planes and all that stuff. So or whether they come out, one year my kids came out and spent a couple weeks in Vegas, which was really nice. Actually, we had a really good time. But that's still a lot for them. Having to travel with just my wife and 2 kids then is like not good either. So I
Sure.
don't know. Yeah, it's a bit tough, but yeah, it's fun. It's
I
it's
was
kind of interesting as they get older, like explaining what I do because they're like they don't get it. Like my daughter like kind of gets it, but she just like thinks that like I make money, like I go out and make money, but she doesn't really understand that like I play a game for a living that like I win at to make money or something like that. Which even saying that is like weird to explain to a kid that you know
it's hard to explain to adults sometimes, just
yeah,
poker in
exactly.
general.
Well, the beautiful thing is that like if you just explain it to a kid, they're like, oh, okay, like that sounds good. Like they just roll with it. Like, oh, you do that? Oh, that's what you do for work? Sure, sounds good. Whereas adults want to like question you and ask you like, well, how are you sure you're a winner? Maybe you're just getting lucky all this time, and like all the kinds of questions that people face. But kids are a lot more just yeah, they don't care. Sure. Oh, an adult said that's what they do. Sounds good.
I was checking out your website before the interview, doing my due diligence, some research, and it said that before poker you worked in an elementary school.
I
I
did,
was
yeah,
what's the
yeah.
story there?
Um, so I was a staff assistant. I worked in this kindergarten through second grade special ed classroom. So the staff assistants like work one on one with the kids in that room because there's only like 5 kids, and you basically teach them like individually, kind of. So like we all have to be trained in like the teaching methods and stuff. And yeah, I don't want to say I fell into that. My mom was a teacher for my mom was a special ed teacher for a really long time, and there was this summer school where it was a really tough job to get, and my mom kind of helped me and my 2 friends like kind of get jobs there because it paid like pretty well for like a summer job when you're in like college or whatever, and it was only a few hours a day, like 4 or 5 hours a day. So we started there, and then the teacher that I was working with, her room, they had an opening, and I had no other job. I was working part time at a music store, and I was like, yeah, like I'll try this out. My mom was pushing me into teaching for a really long time, and I didn't really want to do it, but this was like kind of just like a starter job. Like I didn't know if I was gonna really get into teaching. That's probably what I was gonna do because I was like kind of had an aptitude for it, but yeah, I wasn't really sure. I still was like kind of trying to figure that out, and then poker just kind of hit me while I was doing that.
It's funny you kind of mentioned that, because I don't think a lot of people know this about me. Is I've been with PokerNews since 2010, but my first gig with them was the WSOP in 2010. I was a rookie that year, But that spring, I had spent the better part of 4 months doing student teaching. I was going to get my teaching license.
Yep.
So I was doing high school history, being a student teacher, and that was my plan. And then I got this opportunity at PokerNews. It was just a one-off thing. It was supposed to be, kind of for the summer, something
Yep.
fun to do. And so yeah, I went, I did it, and then I must have impressed the right people, did a good job, because it's led into the career that I now have, and I've never
Here,
went
here
back.
you are, right? Here,
Yeah,
here we both are. Yeah.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
know, and it probably for the best, because I honestly, looking back, think I would have made a terrible teacher.
Yeah. I don't know. You don't know till you're there, I think. I think that like it depends. I've just been surrounded by teachers. Like my friend from high school is a teacher. My mom was a teacher. My sister works in elementary school now. Like I just everyone around me has always been involved in education one way or another. So and like I do poker coaching. I've done that for a
Yep.
while, and like it kind of all goes makes sense that I kind of sort of in a way in a weird roundabout way it makes sense that I ended up like kind of in the spot that I am with poker coaching and that type of stuff.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you about the coaching. It seems like it would go hand in hand, given your experience in the elementary school world and being around teachers. Is coaching something that you still do and that you still enjoy?
Yeah, I do still coach. I have a note on my website that like I'm not currently taking new students because I don't have like a tremendous amount of time for coaching between my kids and just like the amount I still play. It's just a very large amount. Um, that it's hard. I had a couple of I say a handful of students that have been taking lessons for a while with me that they've been taking up the time that I have, and then I have a long list of people that are like waiting for more coaching. But yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. It's something that I've been doing for so long now that I feel like it's like pretty natural. I have my like kind of like almost like lesson plans that I like blow
Sure.
through with people, and they've changed over the years, which is funny as like poker's evolved and I've learned more about poker and gotten better at poker. Like kind of the way that I teach and what I teach has definitely changed. It's just I mean the poker game has evolved so much since 2010 is dramatically different.
As somebody who's been through it all, who has this strong background in poker instruction, and somebody that's had the results and successes that you have, I got to ask: have you ever thought about maybe writing a poker book?
I just feel like what would I say that hasn't been said already? Like like it's kind of all been done, and at the same time, like I kind of feel like I don't have the best stories from any point of it. Like yeah, I have tons of good stories from before Black Friday and like the madness that was Black Friday, and then like where I went after that, how I transitioned into live, or the things that I saw with the sites, Full Tilt collapsing and Ultimate Bet and all these other random sites going down over the years. But like there's been people that had crazier stories, had a crazier Black Friday story involving more money and more people, and so I kind of feel like I don't know. I let them do it. I just sit in the background and I tell some anecdotes to my buddies when they talk about, oh, I never got to play before Black Friday, and I'm like, oh well, let me tell you about the time the $3 rebuy went, and that was
Well,
but,
as somebody who's been around a while myself and has read a lot of poker books, I think that your stories would be well received. You've
I
had
appreciate.
lots of deep runs. If you ever decide to do a book, I think it would be great. I would certainly buy it and read it.
Well, I will definitely let you know if I do that.
And I know with coaching on your website, it says that a lot of your students have had tremendous success, including somebody winning the World Series of Poker main event. And so
Yes.
I realized I
Yes.
didn't know who that was. So I'm curious who
Hmm.
that winner is.
Um, it was Joe McKeon.
Okay.
I don't like taking credit for it though. I use it as like a bit of a bragging tool on my website. Um, but like I coached him a lot earlier than the main event run. So like
Sure.
I don't think that like what I did made him win the main event by any means. But it is something that like I did work with him, and I think I helped him in poker at a time when he needed help, and I think that he wound up, like I helped him help launch his career in the direction that it went, which ultimately ended up with him winning the main event. So I think that it's a fair thing for me to still say, like I don't know what would have happened to him if I didn't ever coach him, and I didn't work with him tremendously, but I did a number of lessons with him, and it worked out obviously pretty well for him.
Yeah.
Um,
It's funny how little things, that like for me, for instance, being where I am in the poker world, probably never would have happened had I not, met somebody in 2009 who put me in touch with the right person at PokerNews.
exactly.
And yeah, one thing leads to
Yeah.
another.
Yeah, so and I've worked with like it's always people always ask me like I had someone approach me once a while ago like talking about how I coached this one person and like they were upset about something or I don't remember the exact situation, but they felt like oh, I think I had started working with okay, so let me back this up. I had started working with somebody and I did I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 lessons with this person. And then they approached me one day and they were like, "I can't believe you are working with me. Like like you working with this other person that I play against all the time." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "You're coaching this person." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Like I like there was this person that I guess they play against in some tournaments a lot, and I had done one lesson with this person maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But this person apparently was talking a lot about how we work together and we work together all the time and all this stuff, which just wasn't true. And like people tend to like both things out of proportion. So like I don't know if I do 1 or 2 lessons with someone, does that count as me coaching them? Did I just work with them a little bit? That kind of thing. Um, but uh, but yeah,
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I certainly wouldn't perceive it that way. But as I'm learning in the poker world, there's I don't know, people get inside their own heads and develop their own little narratives, and I don't know, it's weird. Like there's stories we run on Poker News that people react to that I think you must be crazy.
it just depends. It's poker's an emotional game. There's money on the line. People's egos are on the line constantly. And I think that like just as time has gone on, poker communities have gotten a lot smaller. Like before Black Friday, it was the world's poker community. And then yeah, it was fractioned into, the Americans and there were some East Coast guys and some West Coast guys and the British guys and maybe the Polish crew or whatever there was. But we've just fractioned it smaller and smaller and smaller. I mean, even in New Jersey, like there's different crews in New Jersey of
Hmm.
like 3 guys, 4 guys, and like there's drama between people and here and there, and like it just I don't know. It's just everyone's always like kind of got their hair on their back, standing up, looking around. Everyone's always afraid of something, and like I don't know. I think a lot of times it's just like you just gotta relax a bit. Like you're just playing a game. At the end of the day, not everyone's out to get everybody, and
Right.
yeah,
Well, let's end this with a little talk about BorgataPoker.com. You're of
sure.
course a sponsored pro. What would you say to people who are in New Jersey that are considering, playing online? Why should they check out BorgataPoker.com?
I think Borgata tries to have an assortment of things for every player. Like Borgata just ran a tournament series that was a lot of lower stakes tournaments that you haven't really seen a lot of that in New Jersey. Like I think PokerStars ran one like a while ago, and that was it. But the Borgata ones have been very successful in there. Borgata's been trying a few different things with some of these phase tournaments that I think have been pretty successful. They just ran one $10 one with a $25,000 prize pool, which was like pretty cool. Just different things like that. Really just trying to like kind of appeal to each player, like whatever level you're at, whether you're just starting out playing lower stake stuff, or whether you're a professional playing, higher stake stuff. We try to have a little bit for everybody. So hopefully there's some good stuff to come. I think people will be pleasantly surprised with some stuff that's hopefully coming out soon. So yeah, I hope people check it out.
And if they do want to check it out, Poker News is offering a special 100% deposit match up to $600 plus $20 on the house. You just got to sign up, download, and deposit. I'll put the link to that in the show notes. So if you're in New Jersey, even if you're not in New Jersey, you can still sign up for an account. You'll just have to be then in New Jersey to actually play. So if you either live there or you plan on visiting there, definitely check out BorgataPoker.com. And then, of course, if you guys want to keep up with Michael Gagliano, they can do so on social media. I know your Twitter is at Gags30 Poker. Do you have
Correct.
Instagram or anywhere else that they should follow you?
Nah, Twitter's the main one. I have an Instagram, but no, it's don't bother. It's nothing there.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me, and good luck in these World Series of Poker bracelet events that are going to be
Thank
happening
you.
this summer.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, hopefully I can bring home a second bracelet. I like you said, I came close last year, so gonna definitely try. Definitely would like that. So we'll see.